I found her by accident. That's what scares me the most. Not in a closed crypt, not in the attic of an old estate, not in an abandoned church. I found it in the archive of our district museum, between inventory journals and your looted church lists of deaths. Grey volume without a name. No date. Without the name of the author. But as soon as I opened the first page, I immediately knew. This book was written in my handwriting. I know my handwriting. I hate him. The letters are slightly tilted to the right, but sloppy, as if the hand is constantly hesitating. The pressure is uneven. In words with O, the ink is darker. In T, it almost disappears. And always I make a little hook at the end of the line, even if it's a period. The book had it all. Every mistake. Every strange habit that I have not been able to get rid of since school. I closed it right away. My heart was pounding as if I had stolen something forbidden. It's just a coincidence, I said out loud. But the voice sounded fake even for me. On the inside of the cover in pencil was written, INV number 1742. Date of receipt, 1924. I was born in 2003. There are almost 100 years between us. I've only been working at the museum for 3 months. Temporarily. Sorted papers, moved boxes, scanned documents. No one paid attention to me, and it was convenient. When I opened the book again, slowly, page by page, I saw not Latin, not Old Slavonic, not church records. It was a mixture. The words I knew. Words that don't exist. Symbols similar to letters, but broken, as if they were written in the dark. But the worst was different. Between the spells, and I quickly realized that it was them, there were notes in the margins. Short. Personal. Don't repeat it 3 times. The second time is enough. Blood is not necessary. The intention is more important. It works even if you don't believe it. That's how I write. Just as briefly. I also address myself. I didn't steal the book that day. I left it in the archive. It was a mistake. I had a dream at night. I was standing in a room without windows. The walls were written down in text, tightly, without spaces. And the longer I looked, the more I realized, these are all my thoughts that I have ever had, but never said out loud. There is a table in the center of the room. It has the same book. I opened it on an empty page. The hand itself began to write. I woke up with cramps in my fingers and a clear feeling that something was waiting for me to finish reading. The next day, I couldn't stand it and went back to the archive. The book was in the same place. But now it's thicker. I turned to the end. The last pages that were empty yesterday have now been filled. Description of my dream. Word for word. And the date. Today's. I began to read it systematically. Not like a horror movie fool. Be careful. Most of the swear looked absurd. Children's rhymes. Repetition of names. Lists of items that do not exist. But some were dangerously specific. To return what is lost, it is enough to know where it was last. I checked it. I remembered my grandfather's old pocket watch that disappeared many years ago. I knew where he was last, in the attic, in a box of letters. I didn't say the spell out loud. I just thought of him. That same night, the clock was on my desk. Stopped. The arrows indicated the time of my birth. I had to stop, but instead I became addicted. The book did not give power. She gave excuses. You don't want evil, you just read. You don't interfere, you follow the instructions. When I found the new spell, it was already familiar. It's like I once invented it myself, and now I just remembered it. And what I read, the more often I noticed strange things. People looked at me longer than they should have. The mirrors were a second late. My shadow sometimes moved not like me. I got to the section without a title. The pages there were darker, as if the ink had eaten into the paper. On the first page is a phrase that made me feel cold. This is the place where I realized that time is not a straight line. Next is the story, about a person who found a book of spells written in her handwriting, exactly 100 years before birth. And every line was familiar, because that was my story, until today. The last entry ended with the words, "When you read this, there is no choice." I heard a sound that wasn't supposed to be. The page turned itself, and I saw an empty sheet. The ink was nearby. The hand was tense again. I understood the truth. The book was not written by me in the past. It was written by me in the future. And I'm just another version that has to finish it. I don't know how much time has passed since then. I only know one thing. The book always returns to the archive. Someone always finds it. It always recognizes the handwriting. He always thinks he can stop. If you ever open an old book without a title, and you will see familiar letters, turn the last page. There will be a date, and maybe your name, which you haven't learned to write yet.